All right, everybody. Oh, that's not good. I got another project today. I'm trading my concrete guys. They're gonna pour my pad for me this week. I actually have two projects. I have to have them done this week. I am going to night shift for a week for my company. Just help them out. We're behind. We're missing some schedule stuff. So they need someone on night shift that was trained on these parts. So I'm gonna go to night shift this week. I'm trying to trade work with my concrete guys. They brought this truck out here and I have to have another post put in the ground in my privacy area because we're gonna add two walls along the northeast side of our house on our privacy area that you guys saw in previous videos. So I have to have them all done this week, plus going to night shift. We decided to take a day off when I had all this work to do. We went for a ride. It was my brother-in-law's birthday. So we went for a ride up in the mountains, took side-by-side up, and we went around kind of up in Dog Creek area for like 3 hours today, just dinking around in the snow and stuff. So now it's like 6 o'clock at night. I'm gonna have to stay up all night to transfer over to night shift tonight. But I do gotta get this done and the post put in before Thursday when they pour my slab. So thank God I called them. They said they're gonna put the concrete in the hole for me. So I just gotta get the post in the ground and square it up to the rest of my stuff. And they'll pour the slab right into the post hole and it'll all be done at once. So it'll be good. I was gonna originally put the post on top, but I just think it looks better in the ground because the other two are in the ground. So, but this is my project today. This is what I'm on currently. This is a big giant truck that let me show you from this side. So this is their truck. It's a big boy. I don't even know what it is, but they say it's a couple trucks maybe scabbed together. They're not 100% sure, but it holds all their basement forms for when they're pouring a concrete foundation in a basement. So they have all their forms on it, but they have all this extra crud on here that they don't need. This is the thing I'm cutting off today. So this, I'm assuming, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's like a lift gate to lift stuff up onto there. It doesn't work. None of this stuff works on it. They're just like, dude, we're just hauling around extra weight we don't need. So I'm gonna trade them a little bit of work. They're gonna cut me a deal on my slab if I cut that off of there for them. And then the bottom of this, they say hits on everything. So we're gonna try to cut it off somewhere in this area. I'm gonna cut all these hooks off here. I'm gonna bring it right around to here. Then you got this piece coming down. I'm gonna pie this and run it straight back. So it should give them like 6-7 inches of extra ground clearance because they say it drags on everything. We'll see how it goes. This is pretty thick stuff here. This is like 1/2 inch plate. I think my pliers will do it. We're gonna find out. If not, I'm gonna have to go get some acetylene for my cutting torch that I haven't used in years. I've used it, just not on a project. I mainly use it to light my stove. Pretty expensive way to do it, but it's quick. So we're gonna get this cut off here. There's this one piece of square tube right here, and there's 2 pieces of 3/8 down there. Once I get those off, then I'm guessing this channel is gonna have to come off because I don't want it dragging, but I'm mainly trying to get this off of here first. This thing's gonna be heavy. I don't know what this thing's gonna weigh, but when I go to cut the last piece, it's gonna come off of here like a ton of bricks, dude. The good thing is they do have one strap on it here. This chain is hooked up. I'll probably leave those and I'll let this thing kind of swing that way. When it falls, I'm gonna move my Tundra before I cut this thing all the way off because I don't want it swinging into that, but hopefully it'll swing that way. This side will hit the ground, probably that back corner, because I'm gonna leave this chain connected. Then I'm gonna cut the chain, let it swing this way, and then I'll slowly undo the ratchet strap to let it the rest way down. I'm hoping they're gonna take this. If not, I'm gonna have to go recycle this, which, whatever. I'll go take it and get it recycled, but it's gonna be heavy. I have a feeling. It looks heavy to me. We'll see though. This is gonna get interesting. Might be a little bit sketchy. I'm gonna lay underneath this truck, honestly, to cut the first one. Probably the second one too, because at least I'll be underneath all that frame. So if it does fall, I got a little bit of protection. Then I'll do this tube last from out here. I don't know. I might use a Sawzall on that just so I can get my hands away from this for when it actually falls. I'm hoping when I cut through that last square tube, and I'm gonna cut real slow, and as the weight of this thing starts bending that tube, I'll just let it slowly go to the ground is what I'm hoping for. we'll see. I don't want to do it in my shop floor because I don't want that heavy thing falling on my concrete and dinging it up. So I'm doing it outside. At least the wind stopped blowing finally. It's going to be interesting though, for sure. I'll kind of take some videos as I go, or try to. I might send you up on a stand as I'm hacking on this thing, so you can see this thing kind of coming off of here. I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of weight. I did want to show you guys this too. So when you're using a plasma cutter, these are what I use. They're I call them green glasses. They're just slightly tinted, because the plasma cutter has a tendency to kind of make my eyes hurt a little bit if I'm not wearing something. When I bought the Plas, I'm not sure if they threw these in or if I bought them, but they were super cheap. They're Nemesis. I just call them green glasses. But they do help my eyes quite a bit. I'm going to be at this for a little bit because that is fairly thick for my Plas. It says it'll do shear 5/8. I kind of played with this a little bit. My air compressor's having a tough time keeping up because I'm moving pretty slow, because it's fairly thick. It is doing it in one cut. I don't have to like actually sit there and like saw at it to get it to cut through. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you guys are having any sensitivity to your plasma cutter, maybe look at some of these. You should be able to get them at most of your local welding shops. Like I said, the brand is called Nemesis. At least that's how I pronounce it. Yeah, you might call it something else. That's what I call them. We use these glasses at work too that are actual just safety glasses. But I bought these like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago when I bought my Plas. If anyone's wondering, this is what I got. It's a 375 Extreme. I bought it a long time ago. The main reason I bought it is on that big black Jeep there, I cut 4 inches of the unibody out, and then I extended it into the fender wells to make it wider to fit. I was having some overheating issues with the original 350 I had, but I extended this out and I used the Plas to Plas the unibody out. So this is all 3/16 plate in here to extend my unibody 4 inches out wider for the Chevy motor that's in it. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be using today. I'm going to be using the same Plas. Like I said, I've had this thing forever. So we'll get to hacking on this thing and let you guys know, show you what I'm doing. All right, this did get a little bit sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. You can see I left this strap on it to try to make it swing this way towards me. I got most of the way through. I actually cut that one all the way through, and I went back here and I started cutting that second one through. Well, I'd cut through a majority of this tube right there. Well, as I went back and I started cutting on that 3/8 plate, this tube wasn't even welded to here. The weld was so bad, it literally wasn't even holding it together. So I was laying in there thinking that this tube, this square tube back here, was going to be holding it on there. It was not. It wasn't even welded to it. So it started coming down as I started cutting through. Good thing it just slowly kind of fell down on that one side. So I'm going to lay back under there and cut that the rest of the way off. Hopefully this thing swings away from me. And then I can get in here and clean up all this ugly, because it is pretty ugly right now. I'm just trying to get it off of there. All right, that went pretty well actually. I just laid underneath this big giant piece of frame here, and I just barely reached over with my Plas and cut that last little piece there. And this thing fell exactly like I thought it was gonna. It literally just, this side just went bang on the ground, and the strap kept it there. So now I'm gonna let the ratchet strap off, and then I can pull this thing out of the way. And clean up. You can see there's some ugly scabbed on stuff from, it's not the guys that I'm working on this for. It was here prior to them getting it. They wanted this off here because they're pulling all this extra weight around and they don't need it. It doesn't work. They don't use it. So we're going to probably cut that piece of channel somewhere in there. Same with this one, close to the frame. There's another piece back there. Another one, I might have to ask him about if he wants those left on there, because there is some hooks and stuff on them. I don't know if they're ever going to use them. We'll get this piece out of here. We'll cut it off next to the frame, grind it all smooth. Then we'll start working on this back section. All right, so I'm starting to realize this whole project's just going to be sketchy. So I did get it cut off. Yay! This is what I did. Wrapped my chain around that and I hooked it to my Plow. I was hoping the Plow would lift it up. It's freaking heavy. The Plow did not want to lift it up, but at least I got it out of my way. So I'm gonna drag it back here out of my way. But yeah, like I said, I use my plow truck for everything. It's like a DA cat to me. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna get this out of the way. You know what, I might just leave it right there actually. I'm not sure if they're gonna take it or if I'm gonna have to deal with it. So maybe I'll leave it there. That way I can use I'll run my winch cables up into my rafters and then back down, and then I can pick it up and set it on my trailer. Or I might cut it up smaller with my plows. I don't know. There might be some usable stuff on here for me. I'm thinking it's a recycle job though, for sure. Hopefully you guys can see. It's a little dark. It's pretty late right now. I did get those both cut off right there. Sorry, a little hard to show you. There was a channel iron hanging down, the big ones behind it, and some big plate. I got all that cut off. It's actually, that's what was on there. This is some thick stuff. This is all quarter. All of it's quarter. This one might be 3/16. That one's definitely quarter. This is 3/8 plate, and it's like 8-inch. This is like 7-inch channel, and that's some 4-inch channel. So I got all that hacked off there. There was 2 of them, one there and one right there. So that's all done. I got to come back through. This was a little thick. My Plaz is taking on a little bit of water right now. It's not cutting super great. I think I might need to get some new cups, electrodes, whatever they call them inside. I don't have any currently, so I'm kind of just hacking through this. I'll come back with a grinder, clean all this up. You can see that was where the big channel was. Plate was running this way. The other piece of channel, same with up there. I got it somewhat hacked off. I'll clean all this up with a grinder so it looks better. Next I got to work on cutting this off. We're going to cut it off somewhere about there. So they're going to lose quite a bit. I'm going to cut this in a triangle, and I'm going to fold it back up and weld it back to here. Is my game plan. We'll see. I might just end up hacking that, turning the tube and putting it back in, but that's what we're kind of shooting for. But it's getting kind of late. I do have to stay up all night so I can go to night shift this week, but I'm going to try to get up before work. I got to probably set my post or work on this. I got to get one or the other done. I'm afraid it's this one because they do need this truck back by, I think, Thursday, and I got a lot of work here still to do, so it's going to take me a while to try to get through that. I don't know. I might try to use cutoff wheels. I don't know. It's a lot of steel there. Like I said, I might have to go fill my acetylene bottle and use the old cutting torch and gas axe and get that off there. We'll see. It's thick. All right, we are back on this. This is not going super great. But I'll kind of tell you what I'm working on. I don't have any acetylene for my cutting torch. This is like 1/2-inch plate. I'm having a tough time, excuse me, tough time getting through it. I took my grinder, my 4.5-inch grinder, my cutoff wheel on it, and I essentially started here and I scribed a line across here. I cut about halfway through the plate. I used about 3 cutoff wheels because I know my plows won't go through this plate. So I cut halfway through it. Now I'm trying to stick my plows down in there, and I'm trying to cut through the rest of it. And it's not going super great. I wish I had some acetylene for my torch to just hack this thing off here. And even with the torch, it's going to take a little bit because I don't have a huge cutting torch. It's a fairly small kind of hobbyist set. But we're going to keep working at it, but that is what I did. I cut about halfway through the plate with my cutoff wheels. I would have liked to go all the way through, but my hands were just getting numb from the vibration from the grinder, and it was just eating up. I went through three cutoff wheels already, so we will get through this. So I'll keep hacking at it, even if I'll keep at it. I'll get it done. I know I will. I got the Plaz cranked all the way up, and it's kind of not really still cutting all the way through it super great. I'm definitely going to have some cleanup with the grinder when I'm done. But you can kind of see I kind of V'd this too. So it's flat across there, then I V'd it up both directions. It'll be level with this bar here, so I can add this a piece of 3/8 angle I have. I will add that right here to support this corner because this tube will be gone. Because it's obviously connected to the bottom. All this he wanted gone because it drags so bad when they go through any kind of ditch or anything. He says it just drags horribly bad on everything. So this will give him probably 5-6 inches of more clearance. He wanted to leave the receiver in case he ever did have to tow something with this thing. So all right, everybody, we finally got some success here. I got a little bit more trimming to do, but I did get the majority of that off there. Still got to cut that tube. Sorry, I'm a little winded. I've just been running my Sawzall. And that little piece right there, I'm going to square that off. Then I got to grind, clean all this up, put that support in the back here on these corners to support that corner and this corner. But we did get it off there finally. Oh, geez. That is some thick plate, dude. I mean, whew, look at that thing. It's anywhere between half and 3/4. It is some thick stuff. I honestly, I tried to go get my cut and torch filled. I haven't used my cut and torch in a long time. I found out that if you bought your bottles from a certain place, you have to take it there to get filled. I used to go to American Gas and Welding here in Helena. I switched over to Genco recently. Went to go get it filled, and they're like, we can't fill this. It's a $50 fee. We could switch the bottle out. So it'd have been like $100 to fill my oxygen bottle, and I'm like, I ain't paying that. You guys obviously realize I'm a fairly cheap person. I'm not willing to pay for a whole lot of stuff if I can make it, or I just think it's too much. I just won't do it. I'll figure out another way. So that's essentially what I did. I didn't want to fill it. I'm currently on night shift right now, so sleeping during the day, so trying to go get stuff done after working a 12-hour shift. At night, it's been a little rough. I did make it to Genco, like I said, and they Genco distributed it here in Helena. They said they'd fill the bottle, would be like $100, and I just wasn't willing to pay for it. I haven't made it over to AmeriGas, so what I did is I bought this. This is a Diablo. It's a carbide tooth Sawzall blade. You can see I just used it, so it's kind of wore all the paint off, but it is carbide tooth. This thing went through it pretty good. I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought I was really going to struggle with this. Probably took me, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes to finish cutting this off. It worked very well though. Like I said, I was not only going through this 1/2-inch plate, but there's another piece underneath this receiver that's at least half, probably 5/8. So it did cut through that. Like I said, this is rough right now. I'm gonna come back through and clean all this up. I still gotta cut this off square. I'll probably taper this back to here. Leave that just so it has a little bit of support. And then I'm gonna run some angle from this piece back to support this corner. And I got this is like 3/8 angle, so I'll weld it on here to here, cut these tubes off square, and then just clean everything up. When I cut the side piece off, this big lift gate, I still got to come back through and clean all those up for them so it doesn't look like somebody just hacked on this thing. Not that it probably really matters, but I just want it to look good coming out of my shop, so they know that I'm, you know, legit, and they're going to get a good product in the end of this. So, and they're going to do a little work for me. So yeah, that's where we're at. Now I get to do my favorite thing in the world and grind. I love it so much. Not really, I hate it. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's looking much better. We just probably gained them about 4 inches and maybe 5 inches underneath the bottom, and about 6 over on the, or about 7 on the side. So they should be happy with that. They said this thing was dragging over every single bump they went over, so this should help them out quite a bit. Like I said, I got some cleanup to do now with the grinder, so I'm gonna be here like super happy grinding away. And I did want to show you that. Look at the hornet's nest inside that receiver. I'm glad it's like the beginning of the summer and there wasn't a whole bunch in there. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'll try to get this done today. Hopefully, I got to go to work here at 6 o'clock again tonight. So last day of nights, hopefully, we'll see. There goes my light. My high quality production filming I've got going on here. Oops, that's the wrong one. Okay, so finally got that piece off. So this is that 3x3 angle. So you can see I drew a line there. I'm gonna cut that tube off. We're gonna weld this in here just to kind of support it. Honestly, I don't think it needs this, but they had some in there, so I'm gonna put something back in there. So we'll get that tube cut off. You can see it hangs down quite a bit here because I cut all this off. I mean, it's probably 8 inches out here, 7 inches on the side. So we're gonna cut that tube off so you just see that little part of that receiver, but this will give them a ton of clearance. I gotta still clean all this up, but yeah, so I got that one cut. Got that one cut, sorry, got my lighting guy back in the right spot now. So we got that one cut. I'll cut the other one on the other side. We'll come back through, we'll have to grind all the paint off of here. We'll get this tube cut off. I'm probably gonna cut it this way also, flush with the bottom of this tube back here, just so it looks a little better from this angle. I'll cut it off flush right there. Then this will be, the end of this will probably be open, which isn't a big deal. Down the road, if they want, they could put a D-ring or hook or something in there. Holy cow, it's cold on my shop floor. It's pretty warm outside, but it's a little cold. It's holding some cold down here. I can see my breath right now. But we'll get that one in. Then I got to go back through, cut that one off, put the same thing over there, clean up all this ugly with my grinder. My favorite thing to do in the world. And then some more grinding over there on those braces underneath of the box there. Just a little cleanup. I'm hoping to have this done before I go to work today. I hope. I'm kind of over it right now. I kind of want to go work on something else. So, should look pretty good when it's done though. We'll get there. All right, you guys. Ow. I did want to show you this. So this is the slag for my plasma cutter when I was trying to use my plasma cutter to get through this. This takes a long time to grind this stuff off. Quick tip, just take your chisel and hit it from the opposite side, and this stuff comes right off. It's way quick, way faster than grinding it. So just quick tip, if you get one like this one's a little stuck on there, I'll put a hammer behind this and just tap it and it'll fall right off there. Makes it so much quicker than having to try to grind through all this booger that came out of the backside of this because I was trying to cut stuff that was too thick for my plas. So just quick tip, chisel. Don't ever grind your slag off, just use a chisel and hit it this way and it usually comes right off, see that? Oh yeah, totally did. So, really quick way to do it, don't grind it. All right, people, let's go over here. Where are my lights at? Okay, so I got those back in there. They're welded. I didn't weld them all the way around. I got like 3 sides. It's kind of tough to get in there, and it really doesn't need to be welded all the way around. Yeah, I'm still trying to decide if I want to cut that bottom piece off. It doesn't look horrible, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't know. I just don't know. I think we're going to leave it because I'm trying to keep these hours down for these guys. We're doing some trading on work, so I don't think I'm going to put the extra time into making that look better. And it'll give them a little bit of a skid there. Maybe it'll hit this before it hits here. So I'm going to leave it long. I don't know. Maybe when they see it, they'll be like, can we cut those off? And I'll cut them off then. But for right now, I'm going to leave them. I got that side in. I got all this bottom cleaned up with the grinder. Everything's no sharp edges. Same thing over here. I got the other one in on this side. So now all I got to do is just clean up where I hacked on it with my plas on these other brackets over here. I got that bracket. This one I'm going to square off and clean up because it got really ugly. I think my plas was sucking some water. Same with over here. It got real ugly. I think my air compressor was building some water and it just wasn't cutting where the crud the other day. And then I got this one here. Maybe about an hour left of grinding and this thing will be done. Then maybe they'll come and pour my slab. All right, everyone, we got this thing done. Well, for the most part, I got to call them, but we got all these cleaned up. All 4 of them. I just kind of tapered this one back because the frame's a little lower here. Cut it at a little bit of an angle, just ran rock and paper across it. Knocked all the sharp edges and the ugly off of it. Got our supports in both sides. Got the bottom down here cut off. Should be good to go for them. The only other thing, I think they have some weld-on ratcheting straps that they want me to put on here. They were supposed to bring them up, so I'm going to give them a call, see where they're at with those, if they have them, what they're doing with them, if they still want me to do them. It might be a money thing for them like it is me with my concrete, so we'll see. I got a little bit of time into this. I'll calculate it up, let them know how much it would cost me, and they're gonna probably take that off the bill, or we're gonna work some kind of deal labor wise with their concrete. So it's a good deal for them, good deal for me, so that's why we kind of did it. But it's done now. Like I said, I'll call them about the straps and see if they want me to get those on there. Hopefully they can get them up here maybe tomorrow. I thought they were gonna pour today, but maybe they got busy, so I'll give them a call, figure out what's going on. But it's a wrap for sure.